Okay, so I'm actually done with the contacts app now. As you can see, this is the app. I'm going to show you a demo. As you can see at the bottom, I want to add a contact over here. Let me just click on the add contact. And the moment you click on the add contact, there's a new contact which is going to be added at the bottom. Even if you want to edit it, we can actually edit it. Let me show you. Let me actually edit something. Yeah, let me click on done. So yeah, as you can see, it got edited. Even if we want to delete, we can actually delete it. So it got deleted totally. There's a delete all button which actually deletes all of the contacts. It shows no contacts to display. If we refresh, yeah, the data gets again fetched from the API. Let me take you through the code right now. The moment the user refreshes the page, use effect actually comes into picture, and it calls the fetch URL function. This is a fetch URL function which actually fetches the data from the API, and it will actually set the contacts with that data. As you can see, this is the contacts. So this contacts will be set as data, and over here at the bottom in the JSX file, as you can see, this contacts, if the contacts or length is greater than 0, it gets mapped, and we will actually use a new component called user, and it actually we will actually send in the details as props, id as contact.id, and we will actually send name and email as props. We also send these functions actually as props. If the contact dot length is not greater than, if the contact dot length is not greater than 0, then we will actually display no contacts to display. So yeah, that's why when we click on delete all, it will actually show no contacts to display. So that is it for the JSX part. And also we do have another component called add user, and we will send on add is equal to fetch user as prop. Fetch user is actually a function which we have created over here. What it does is it actually takes the name and email as argument. It will actually call the API, and in the body we will store the name and the email we got from the user, and we actually convert the response that we got into data, and we will add the new data, append that new data in the contacts array. And we actually this three dots is the spread operator. We do use the spread operator, and so we will be able to spread all the contacts and then append data, the data we got. So that's how we will actually add a new user. And on handle delete, it actually takes id as argument. That id is used to actually delete any contact which matches with that id. So as you can see over here, we will actually filter out the contacts array. We will go through every contact, and if the contact.id is not equal to id, then only we will let that contact be inside that contacts, or else it is going to get deleted. So yeah, this is all it for the handle delete, and this will actually delete everything. It will set the contacts to an empty array. And there's also another function called on handle update. Okay, this will actually update. I've just shown you, right? I've actually clicked on the edit button, and I've edited the name and email, and clicked on done, so that I was able to edit. So this fetch API, what it this on handle delete actually takes these three arguments, id, name and email. It takes from the user, and we actually fetch this URL and append dollar of id at the end, so that it knows which user it has to update, and we get a response from it. We actually map through all of the contacts. If the contact id matches, then we actually update the name and email. As you can see over here, that's what we are actually doing. We are actually setting the contacts with the new updated contacts using the spread operator in the array, and we are just returning the contacts. And that is it for this app.js file. Let me take you through the user.js. Okay, this is the user component where we actually okay, so this is a user component where we actually show show the name, email, and actually two buttons, the edit and the delete buttons, depending upon the condition whether editing is true or false. If the editing is actually true, we will actually let the user enter in the input. If it is false, we will just show the contact. That's it. And over here we have on change, because we have to update the name accordingly the moment user starts typing. So yeah, this is what it on handle on change is equal to handle edit name, which is updating the name, and on click is equal to handle update. So the moment user clicks on edit button, handle update. Okay, if the editing is false, we're gonna set the editing to true, or else we are going to call this on update, which we got as prop. I've just shown you in the app.js file, right? We are going to call this function, and we're going to set editing as false, because we are done with the editing. So yeah, depending on that, depending on editing, we will show whether we have to show done or edit button to the user. That is it for this user component. And even in the add user component, it's quite similar actually. We've got this JSX file, we are just taking input over here, and just the same, we are setting the name and email the moment user starts typing, and we use e.prevent default just because the page should not get refreshed. That's it. And even over here on add, we are getting it as props, and these name and email, we are sending it as arguments, as we've seen in the app.js file. So that is it. So that is it for it. Thank you.